Joining me now, the president's son and executive VP at the Trump Organization and author of the book Liberal Privilege, which is available for pre-order, Donald Trump Jr. So, Don, explain to me this. So, a Yale epidemiologist, he says that hydroxychloroquine can be effective in early stages of coronavirus. So if you retweet a doctor who agrees with the Yale guy, how is that misinformation? Isn't that just a second opinion?
Well, I think that's what's called science, right? Science, certain things aren't definitive. You argue back and forth, and I thought as an American that kind of discourse is what actually makes us American, to be able to have a dissenting opinion. Twitter, the great doctors at Twitter, of which I believe there are none, have decided that one doctor is more right than another group of doctors. I want to hear all sides, and that was what was interesting about my tweet, which is I didn't say, oh, everyone else was wrong, this is right. I just go, wow. You know, Jesse, this is really interesting. This is so different than the narrative that they've been jamming down my throat for the last 3 months. We should probably hear that. That was enough to get me thrown off Twitter. Now, they didn't have a problem. Twitter did not have a problem with the Chinese government literally spreading coronavirus disinformation. There's an article in The Hill where they say, no, the Chinese government spreading coronavirus disinformation, which, by the way, probably cost millions of people their lives over the course of the world, right? That does not violate their rules. The Ayatollah Khomeini talking about death to Israel, and genocide. That doesn't violate their rules. Me saying, I don't know, maybe you should hear from a couple of doctors who have a disagreement on this that are actually treating patients in the field. My father retweeting a meme. That's enough to get us thrown off of these platforms, and that's the problem. Big tech is activist liberal. They are out there putting their hand, and it's a very powerful hand, more powerful probably than any hand in modern history, weighing the scale down in favor of the left. You notice you've not heard of a single leftist, no matter whether it's moderate left or some of the radical, crazy people you're seeing so much of these days on the left. You've never seen them thrown off the platform. You've never seen them suspended. You've never seen them demonetized. Right. You don't see, they don't have the same inboxing problems.
Well, Don,
like you
that's
do
because
with,
they all
Gmail
believe
and Google.
That you, Donald Trump Jr., are more dangerous than the Ayatollah and the communist Chinese. Everyone is scared of Donald Trump Jr. And you're right, because here's the deal.
I mean,
it's about censorship.
It's a little bit of a compliment.
Yeah, I know. You are that powerful.
I have that much power in my fingers.
You really are that big of a threat with your fingers, and you don't have a finger on any nuclear buttons. It's just retweet and retweets.
Nothing.
Yeah, and retweets are not endorsements. That's what they tell you. And this one, you can plot Antifa riots on Twitter. They don't do anything about that. Yeah. You can accuse the president of treason, the Russia collusion. That's misinformation. You can call someone a rapist, a white supremacist. That's not hate speech at all. It's all going one way. It's a blitzkrieg of regulation against conservative speech because they don't trust the American people to make up their own minds. Because if they're both sides out there and they can decide based on the facts, you'll always choose against the totalitarian left.
They will do whatever they can.
Yeah.
They will do whatever they can to push the voter to believe the radical left and to vote accordingly. That is their job in this. They've been doing it for a while. I mean, it's no secret. I've been on your show talking about, social media censorship, what they're doing. I said in the past that everything I've seen from 2016 on has been a dry run for 2020. They're not even hiding it anymore. They're just doing it. Again, if literal disinformation, information put out by the Chinese government that places like the World Health Organization and others relied upon, that is not enough to get you thrown off of Twitter, deplatformed, or censured. But me being like, I don't know, maybe you should watch this. We like to believe in free speech. Let's hear what they have to say. That's a problem. That's what
I think honestly,
Jesse.
I think the Republicans need to threaten to break up these monopolies if they're not treated fairly. All right, so you have Joe Biden out there. He's running for president. He's walking for president, whatever you want to call it. He's gone far left. I don't know where his brain has gone. It might just be gone. Here he is walking to the podium the other day. I don't know if he knows where he is. Listen.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Kingswood Community Center. Actually, that's the one down I used to work. As a joke. You didn't know where we were. Anyway, it's great to be here and back at a place where
Where am I?
Jesse, what I want to know is when does this start being considered elder abuse? I mean, it's really not fair. I mean, honestly, it would be truly sad if it wasn't so scary that this guy could be in charge of the nuclear football. You see it every day. He doesn't remember where he is. He forgets who his wife is. He forgets what office he is running for. He gets in front of a crowd. And don't forget, Joe Biden's a 50-year swamp creature, right? If you've been a politician for 50 years, you should be able to get in front of a whopping crowd of 7 people and be able to do it without a teleprompter.
You're right.
He
should
can't
come
do
naturally.
that. His team pulls him off any interview because you see him start to go off the rails. And most notably was sort of during the debates. Notice how I don't think he ever completed a question without going, well, I don't want to take up any more of your time, so I'll give my time so everyone else can speak. He's literally the first politician in the history of politics to not go over his time in a debate. And it's because he didn't remember where he was going. He spoke for 45 seconds, forgot the point he was trying to make, forgot the question, and now he's ceding back the time because he's this magnanimous guy. I mean, give me a break. It's not funny. I mean, we're laughing because
no, I know we're laughing at it now, but it's scary.
I'm like,
and it looks like he's going to put Kamala Harris on the ticket, which is even more of a scary idea. Not as scary as Donald Trump Jr., who everybody believes is scarier than the Iranians and the Chinese communists. All right, check out his book. You can order it right now. Donald Trump Jr., there he is. Thanks.
Thank you, Jesse.